Okay, so today we're talking about how to rest and renew. And um, first, we want to share about consciousness. We have our individual consciousness, our individual traits of character, instincts, past life habits, associations, and not even from the past life, even from this life, we carry, since being in the womb, um, all of this, we're going to call it programming. And programming is, throughout this whole discourse, it's really important to remember there is no good or bad. So if you find yourself associating a word with a negative feeling, just be aware of it and observe it. So, programming. We have all of this individual programming that we come up with. We're born into a certain family with certain ideals, and we start hearing them in the womb immediately. How life is and how life is supposed to be, and it's an immediate start. So, and we're so young and we're like sponges, just sucking up all of that information, learning our social contracts, like in anthropology. This is learning how to function in our family situation or our community situation. So and this individual consciousness can be very different from one individual to the next. There's no way to broad spectrum say this is how everybody is. There may be trends in a culture, but as soon as you start intermingling cultures and different situations, and for example, right now this situation is really shifting the culture for like our students, our own kids now. If they're being born right now, that's a lot of stuff that they might be picking up. But then there's so many components, so it's not just one thing. So here we are as these individual beings with all of this, and we're going to call it matter because it is energy. It's thoughts and words and actions that we've picked up into our being, into our etheric being. So there's this aspect, this individualized, unique experience. We also have the mass consciousness matter that's within and upon us. So those are those broad spectrum, and perhaps you don't agree with the mass conscious belief, but it's still there. It's still around us. We still see it day to day. We see it through other people around us. This mass consciousness matter that's around and within us. And it's still, even though we may not agree with it, it's still here within us. So we have all this matter, these thoughts, actions, words, and it can really start to disrupt our energetic system. So today's discourse in this month is on how to rest and renew. We need to address these built up, and we're going to keep calling it matter, within our system. As light workers, we're addressing these things and transmuting them into light and energy, because that's what we are, is light and energy. So if you start to notice something from your past, for example, and you start to, so let's go unconscious. You just unconsciously, you're thinking of something in the past, and you start to tense up. Your body starts to tense up, and it's a clinging. It's a clinging to the side of the riverbank, not wanting to let go. Or if there's a consciousness, a specific consciousness that keeps appearing, popping up for us. And when we think about it, we start to get tense. We start to pick a side. Again, is the clinging and the resistance to letting go. Right now and throughout time, we're shown these parts of ourselves, these pieces of consciousness, a bit of the past, a worry about the future, anger at somebody else, dis-ease at ourselves or at somebody else. As soon as these things pop up into our consciousness, observe them and really become aware that these things are popping up. These things, this matter that is like crystallized energy stuck in and around us, really blocks our ability to move into the will of God. It's a limitation that we're putting on ourselves. If we truly believe that God is all possibility and is miraculous and all powerful, or if you want to call it universal consciousness, we have the responsibility to clear away all this debris so that we can move forward. Not move forward because we don't have to move anywhere, but so that we can be a channel, be in the channel, and there's not too much clutter. We also have these teachings and wisdom that has been passed down through the ages and is still relevant. And it's a guiding post for doing this. And we have all these beings, holy beings, that we can talk to get that support that we need. If you start to feel yourself tensing up, talk to this holy being and give it to them. Like they say, give it to God. But it might help if it's an individual being that you have a relationship with, because it is a relationship. It is a personal relationship that you develop and work, create with this source of all sources, with God, with whoever you can talk to. So when we start to get tense, and fear is a big one right now. Fear. What are we fearing? Don't worry about it. Just observe it and let go. So we've all heard of like flow with the river. I don't know exactly how the saying goes, but if you're hanging on to the branch and you're not going with the flow, how can you go with the flow? How can you let the energy move and transmute? Where are you hanging on? And we're human beings, so it's like, grabbing a branch, hanging on, and then going, okay, I can let go, I'm safe. Let go, and then grabbing the branch again. It's okay. It's a step-by-step process, it takes time. Nobody's expected to be like perfect and, right away, like, oh yeah, that's great if you are, and we can do that. That's also a possibility. So this grasping, this clinging, this going back and grabbing and tensing up, and anytime you feel that, it is wearing us out. It is not resting and renewing. It is quite the opposite. It is exhausting to hang on like that. And we might feel that we need to hang on. And look at that. Why do we feel that we have to hang on? Do we trust? And this also comes down to a lot of control issues, that we think that we're in control of everything, and we can barely control ourselves. So when you start, if you feel there's something that you need to help control, again, look at where is that coming from. A lot of the programming from our childhood could be bringing that in. And that's the river. Are we okay with not being in control? Are we okay with going with the flow and being in the moment? Being in the water? And how do you see the river? That can tell us a lot about like what's coming at us, how we're perceiving, our perception. So we have all these tools. We've been given so many teachings about how to, all this scripture, all of these teaching from our teachers, counselors, we have all these tools, and for us to rest and renew, use the tools. Just maybe remember one that you can focus on to help clear away all this debris so that we can be more in line and in the channel and release this tension, release this stress that and going in and out of it, so we feel the stress, and then we realize we feel the stress, and then we relax and let it go, and then find that we have that tension again. So it's just like one practice that we've heard of is with every heartbeat is a mantra. And so that's constant. And there's that pause, you know, a pause between the heartbeats that we're consciously aware, but we're still in, you know, consciously aware all the time. Are we getting into fear? Are we getting into the past? Are we getting into the future? Where are we? You know, how is it affecting our chakras? Can we release that? Can we let it go? Can we let go? Can we surrender and trust? And okay, so this also brings up being our authentic self. It is very tiring to try to be something that you're not. And why do you even need to be that? Why are you fighting the creator? And I know this is a blanket statement. If there's something that you're doing that's infringing upon the rights of others or harming others, get help. Yes. But at the same time, if you're forcing yourself to be a certain way and you're not really harming anybody, you know, you're just trying to fit into the box that your parents created for you, and it's not to fight, it's that you don't have to fight with your parents, you don't have to protest. It's just recognizing, okay, that doesn't feel like me. This is exhausting for my being to have to pretend or try to do this. There is no trying, there's only doing it. And it's really getting into harmony with yourself. If there's a trait that you really have meditated upon and you're like, I would like to develop this in myself, do it. You know, there's no one way, one right way. But at the same time, if you're like, I should be a vegetarian, and you're forcing yourself to be a vegetarian, and it's exhausting, just stop doing that. Maybe eat meat and do it with love and transmute that energy. And that's just one example. It could be anything. I'm supposed to be nice. You know, maybe being nice is like torturous for you and exhausting. Maybe don't do it. Maybe let yourself, I mean, not that you're gonna go around and like abuse people. That's not what we're promoting. But some people just have different personalities and like they're more straightforward. And those are some of our best teachers and our best friends. It's done in love, but it's not trying to be something that we're not. Forcing yourself to be a baker. You know, you hate baking, you hate flour, you know, but you're making yourself cook. And maybe if you have children or something and you're doing it out of love, okay, because you want to bake them a cake or something, but it's okay. Recognize it in yourself, and then that honest energy is going to go into the cake, not the, oh, I hate doing this. At least you could say, flour, I don't really like you, but I love my children, so we're going to work together right now to bake this cake. And that's okay. And I love you because I love my children. And so it goes, it goes where we allow it to go. So it's just looking at where are we exerting energy that's wearing us out. Or we might be experiencing this mass consciousness energy that's wearing us out, and it's our grace that we get to help transmute the energy. And this being this authentic self is transmuting our current paradigm and releasing our current paradigm, which is not, it could be any paradigm. Any reality that we can create exists. So we don't have to stick in this paradigm. If it's exhausting, start to work with your energy. Clear out all this old programming and the programming that's around us and the mass consciousness. And allow a new consciousness, a new paradigm to reveal itself to us. One other thing that we would like to share right now with this energy work that we're all doing is giving and receiving. In the Spirit of the Lotus prayers and other prayers, it gives thanks for what we have, give, and receive. So hopefully many of us at this time are having that gratitude right now for everything that we have, not taking anything for granted. A lot of us are giving everything we've got into whatever we're doing. We have to change. So there's a lot of giving and pushing, kind of, okay, I need to give this or do this. We need to be very conscious about receiving as well. This is to help us rest and renew. Receive the light. Receive the love. Receive the energy. Let the work from your practices be a gift for you. We got to get the channel moving. It's not just give. So as much as you feel like, you're doing this pushing, giving, receive. Let the holy beings give to you. Accept it. Allow it. We have to allow. Jump into the river. And allow ourselves to be renewed. And rest. Allow when the rest to come. Give that to her, give yourself that. And allow it for others. And let this new consciousness unfold. So have a beautiful week and prepare for a Rainbow Bridge meditation.